Hello and welcome to this introduction to accessible Word documents. My name is Joseph Polizotto. I'm the high-tech specialist at Taft College, and in this presentation you will learn about who benefits from accessible Microsoft Word documents and what an accessible Microsoft Word document is. The students who benefit the most from accessible Word documents are students who are blind or visually impaired. These students often use screen reader programs such as JAWS, NVDA, or VoiceOver for Mac, which read the content on their computer screens out loud. When Microsoft Word documents are created with accessibility in mind, students using screen readers can access all the information that is in the document. They can also move around the document more easily. Students with learning disabilities also benefit from accessible Word documents because these documents have a clearer structure and simpler language. Students who are using assistive technology because of physical impairments also benefit from an accessible Word document because these documents give them more functionality with their assistive technology. But truly everyone benefits from an accessible Word document because students enjoy reading documents that have a clear structure and simpler language. Now let's look at some of the basic features of an accessible Word document. In later videos we will look more in depth at each of these features, so please be sure to watch the other videos. One of the most important features of an accessible Word document is uniform heading structure. By adding heading styles to your document, you enable students who are using a screen reader to navigate more easily through your document. Sighted users also benefit from seeing the major divisions in your document more clearly. To add heading styles to your document, you will need to select the appropriate heading style from the Styles menu under the Home tab. You can also modify your heading styles by clicking on the heading in the Styles menu. Another critical aspect of the accessible Word document is the addition of alternative text for images, charts, tables, and graphs. To ensure that everyone reading your document will know what an image entails, make sure that you add a text description, also called alt text, for each of your images or graphs. If your document contains information that you would like to place into separate columns, you should do so by clicking on the Columns button and selecting how many columns you would like to create. Do not create columns by pressing on the Enter key on your keyboard. Although your document will appear to have columns if you do this, students using assistive technology will not hear the information in your columns in the correct reading order. When you add tables to your document, be sure to create simple tables. Simple tables do not have an excessive amount of rows or columns, and they do not have multiple header cells within one table. Simple tables have one header row and also have the header row appearing in the table if the table extends to another page. This will make it easier for students to understand the relationship between cells in the table and the headers to which they refer. Links in an accessible document have clear descriptions so that students know where they will be directed when they click on the links. Information that is ordered in a list ought to be created by selecting the bulleted list button or numbered list button from the paragraph menu. In this way, students will understand more clearly which pieces of information comprise your list. Sighted users also can see the relationship of text elements in your list more easily, and assistive technology users will have greater functionality within a list that has been created in this way. Accessible Word documents also have an adequate font size of at least 12 point. Any smaller font size than this will be difficult to read for students with visual impairments. There are also a variety of fonts that are easier for students to read. These are called sans serif fonts. These fonts do not have the feet or tails on the bottom of each character. Some examples are Courier New, Arial, and Tahoma. In accessible documents, important information is not distinguished by using colors only. Students with visual impairments and students using assistive technology may not be able to detect the difference between one text element and another when only color is used. This does not mean that no variety of colors is used at all. It just means that if you want students to distinguish one piece of information from another, you could use color plus another element that students with visual impairments will be able to detect, like text, or an outline style, or a box or an asterisk. Another important feature of accessible documents along these lines is significant contrast. Make sure that your background color and foreground color have significant contrast so that students with visual impairments will not have a difficult time reading your text. Accessible documents also exclude excessively lengthy sentences and complex jargon. If certain terminology is necessary, documents should include a definition. Documents that extend beyond 20 pages or so ought to have a table of contents. A table of contents will make it easier for students to know where to find specific information in your document. It will also enable students using a screen reader to more easily navigate to a specific part of your document. Some features that should be avoided in Microsoft Word because of the accessibility problems they cause are text boxes, blank cells and tables, image watermarks, floating images, and blank characters. Finally, Word documents should be made available in other formats, such as PDF, RTF, and/or EPUB, which students will be able to open with other programs that are available for free. If you would like more information about accessible Word documents, please contact me and be sure to check out the other videos on creating accessible Word documents. Thank you very much for watching.